I never thought I'd end up like this, alone in a cramped, roach-infested apartment in Eugene, Oregon, with a broken heater and a mattress on the floor, scrolling through my sister's Instagram while my life falls apart. My name's Abby, I'm 24, and just a few months ago, I thought I had it all. A boyfriend I'd do anything for, a family I could count on, and a job at a small-town diner that kept me busy. I'd spend my days serving coffee and burgers, smiling through the grease stains on my apron, and coming home to Jake, who'd be waiting with a cold beer and a kiss, his arm around me as we'd watch the sunset from our porch. But I lost it all because of my own sister, because of the guy I loved, because of a deception I never saw coming. Now Jake's gone, my family won't talk to me, and I'm one paycheck away from being on the street, my fridge empty except for a jar of pickles and a can of soda I can't afford to replace. I met Jake 2 years ago at the diner where I work, a little spot called Rosie's in our small Oregon town, the kind of place where the jukebox only plays country songs, and the air always smells like fried onions and maple syrup. I was behind the counter, my hair in a messy bun, my sneakers squeaking on the linoleum floor, balancing a tray of plates while trying not to spill coffee on myself. My shift was almost over, my feet ached, and I was counting the minutes until I could go home and soak in a hot bath when Jake walked in. He was 26, an auto mechanic with shaggy brown hair and a lopsided grin that made my stomach flip. He wore a faded flannel shirt and jeans stained with motor oil, his hands rough from work, and he ordered a black coffee and a slice of pie, his voice warm as he said, "You look like you could use a break, darlin'." I blushed, handed him his order, and wrote my number on his receipt with a little smiley face. Hopping he'd call, hopping he'd be the kind of guy I could build a life with, hopping he'd be mine. He called the next day, and we started dating a week later, long drives through the countryside, his hand on my thigh as we'd listen to old rock songs, the windows down, the wind messing up my hair. We'd stop at roadside stands for fresh strawberries, the juice staining my fingers as I'd feed him one, his laugh a sound I couldn't get enough of, his touch a comfort I didn't realize I needed. We moved in together a year later, a tiny house on the edge of town with peeling paint and a sagging porch. It wasn't much, a kitchen with a stove that smoked when you turned it on, a living room with a couch we'd found at a garage sale, a bedroom with a creaky bed and a quilt my grandma made, but it felt like hours. I'd come home from the diner, the smell of grease still on my clothes, and find Jake in the garage, working on his old Chevy, his hands covered in oil, his focus intense as he'd tinker with the engine. He'd look up, wipe his hands on a rag, and pull me into a hug, his warmth a balm for my tired bones, his smile a promise I thought he'd keep. Jake was my whole world, I gave him all I had. I'd wake up early to make him breakfast, frying eggs and bacon while the coffee brewed, the smell filling the house as I'd hum to myself, knowing he'd wake up to a hot meal, knowing he'd start his day with something I made, something I gave, something I loved. I'd clean the house after my shifts, scrubbing the floors, washing his oil-stained clothes, folding his socks, making sure everything was perfect, ensuring he had nothing to worry about, ensuring he had me, always me. I'd support his dreams, listening to him talk about opening his own auto shop, saving every extra penny from my tips to help him, telling him he could do it, telling him I believed in him, telling him I'd be there, no matter what, no matter how hard, no matter how long. I poured my time, my energy, my love, my heart, my soul into him. Because I thought he was my forever, because I thought he loved me, because I thought he'd choose me, because I thought he'd stay. But things started to change a few months ago, little things I tried to ignore, little things I told myself didn't matter, little things that turned into big things I couldn't overlook, big things I couldn't survive. Jake started coming home later, his excuses vague, his eyes avoiding mine, his kisses quick and cold, his warmth a memory I couldn't hold on to. He'd say he was working late at the shop, but I'd smell perfume on his shirt, a floral scent that wasn't mine, a scent that wasn't me, a scent that was someone else, a scent that was wrong. He'd be on his phone more, smiling at messages I couldn't see, hiding the screen when I'd walk by, his laughter a sound I didn't share, a sound I didn't know, a sound I didn't own. I'd ask him what was wrong, my voice soft, my hands twisting the hem of my shirt, my heart racing with fear, with doubt, with dread. "Nothing, Abby, I'm just tired," he'd say, his tone flat, his eyes distant, his lies a weight I could feel, a weight I couldn't carry, a weight I couldn't shatter. And then there was Kate, my little sister, 22 years old, always the prettier one, the louder one, the one who got all the attention, the one who always wanted what I had, the one who always took what I loved. Kate and I were never close. She was always jealous of me, even when we were kids, stealing my toys, copying my style, flirting with my high school crushes, always trying to be me, always trying to outshine me, always trying to take what was mine, always trying to ruin me. She worked as a hairdresser in town, her nails always painted, her laugh always loud, her presence always a shadow I couldn't escape, a shadow I couldn't outrun, a shadow I couldn't fight. She'd come over to our house sometimes, her smile too bright, her hugs too tight, her eyes on Jake too long, her words too sweet, her presence too much, her presence too wrong. I'd tell myself I was being paranoid, that she was just being Kate, that she'd never cross that line, that she'd never hurt me, that she'd never take him, that she'd never destroy me. But deep down, I knew. I knew she wanted him, I knew she'd try, I knew she'd win, I knew she'd ruin me, I knew she'd ruin us. It was a Sunday evening, the kind of night where the air in our small Oregon town smells like pine and wood smoke, and the stars are bright enough to make you forget your troubles, if only for a moment. My parents had invited us over for a family dinner, a rare occasion since Kate and I usually avoided each other, our tension a quiet storm my mom always tried to ignore, her smile forced as she'd say, "You girls need to get along." I'd spent the day cooking, making my mom's favorite potato casserole, the kind with extra cheese and bacon bits, my hands sticky with butter as I'd mash the potatoes, my heart heavy with the hope that tonight would be good, that tonight would be normal, that tonight would be ours. Jake had been distant all week, his excuses piling up, his touches rare, his smiles rarer, his love a ghost I couldn't catch, a ghost I couldn't hold, a ghost I couldn't keep. We arrived at my parents' house, a small ranch-style home with a wraparound porch and a garden my dad tended to every weekend, the smell of roses mixing with the scent of roast chicken as we walked in. My mom hugged me, her apron dusted with flour, her voice warm as she said, "It smells amazing, Abby, thanks for bringing the casserole." My dad clapped Jake on the shoulder, his laugh loud as he said, "You keeping my girl happy, son." Jake's smile was tight, his nod quick, his eyes darting to Kate, who was already there, her hair in perfect waves, her dress too tight, her laugh too loud, her presence too much, her presence too wrong. I tried to ignore it, tried to focus on setting the table, tried to focus on the clink of plates, the hum of conversation, the warmth of my family, the warmth I thought I had, the warmth I thought I'd keep. Dinner started out fine, the table crowded with food, roast chicken, mashed potatoes, green beans, my casserole, a pitcher of iced tea sweating in the center. My mom kept the conversation light, asking about my shifts at the diner, my dad's garden, Kate's new clients at the salon. But I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Jake and Kate were too quiet, their glances too frequent, their smiles too secret, their energy too charged, their connection too wrong. I watched them, my fork frozen in my hand, my heart racing, my stomach twisting, my mind buzzing with suspicion, with fear, with dread. With the truth I didn't want to see, the truth I didn't want to know, the truth I didn't want to feel. And then it happened, the moment that shattered me, the moment that destroyed me, the moment that ended me. Kate reached for the mashed potatoes, her hand brushing Jake's, her laugh a little too loud, her eyes a little too bright, her touch lingering too long, her intent too clear. Jake smiled at her, a real smile, the kind he used to give me, the kind I hadn't seen in months, the kind that wasn't mine, the kind that was hers, the kind that was theirs. My mom noticed, her brow furrowing, her voice hesitant as she said, "Kate, honey, you okay? You seem distracted." Kate giggled, her cheeks flushing, her words a bomb I didn't see coming, a bomb I couldn't survive, a bomb I couldn't escape. "Oh, Mom, I'm more than okay," she said, her voice dripping with smugness, her eyes on Jake, her hand on his, her treachery on display, her treachery a knife, her treachery a fire, her treachery a flood. "Jake and I have something to tell you. We've been seeing each other for a few months now. We're in love." The room went silent, the air thick with shock, with tension, with deception, with the end of all I'd known, all I'd loved, all I'd had. My fork clattered to the plate, my hands shaking, my breath caught in my throat, my tears already falling, my world spinning, my heart crumbling, my life crumbling. "What did you just say?" I screamed, my voice cracking, my body trembling, my eyes darting between Kate and Jake, my sister and my boyfriend, my family and my love, my world and my void. "You've been seeing each other? Behind my back, for months. You're my sister, Kate, and you're my boyfriend, Jake. How could you do this to me? How could you deceive me like this? How could you shatter me like this? How could you destroy me like this?" Jake stood up, his chair scraping against the floor, his face a mix of guilt and defiance, his hands in his pockets, his eyes on Kate, his choice already made, his choice already hers, his choice already not mine. "I'm sorry, Abby," he said, his voice flat, his words a dagger, his truth a poison, his love a lie, his loyalty a lie. "But Kate, she's different. She's fun, she's free, she makes me happy in ways you never did, in ways you never could, in ways you never will. I love her. I choose her." My mom gasped, her hand over her mouth, her eyes wide with shock, her voice a whisper as she said, "Jake, how could you? And Kate, your own sister." My dad slammed his fist on the table, his face red, his voice loud, his anger a storm I couldn't feel, a storm I couldn't join, a storm I couldn't survive. "Get out of my house, both of you," he shouted, his words a blur, his rage a blur, his pain a blur, his family a blur. I couldn't move, couldn't speak, couldn't breathe, couldn't feel anything but the pain, the treachery, the loss, the emptiness I'd become. Kate and Jake left together, their hands intertwined, their steps steady, their love a slap in my face, their love a knife in my heart, their love a fire in my soul, their love a flood in my world. I sat there, my tears falling onto the table, my hands clutching the edge, my sobs loud, my family silent, my life over, my heart over, my dreams over. I pictured them together, her laugh in his ear, her hands on his chest, her lips on his, all that should have been mine, all I'd never be. My sister, my own sister, had taken him, had stolen him, had ruined me, had left me a hollow shell, left me to hurt, left me to crumble, left me to fall, left me to lose, left me to be this empty void. Jake moved out the next day, his stuff gone before I even got home from my parents' house, his side of the closet empty, his tools gone from the garage, his presence a ghost I couldn't touch, a ghost I couldn't hold, a ghost I couldn't keep. I stood in the doorway of our bedroom, my hands trembling, staring at the empty space where his flannel shirts used to hang, the space where his boots used to sit, the space where he used to be, the space where we used to be, the space where I used to be. The house felt wrong without him. The kitchen where I'd cooked for him, the porch where we'd watched the stars, the bed where we'd slept, all of it hollow, all of it cold, all of it a reminder of what I'd lost, what I'd been cheated out of, what I'd never get back. My family fell apart after that night, the dinner a fracture we couldn't heal, a fracture we couldn't mend, a fracture we couldn't survive. My mom tried to stay neutral, her voice soft as she'd say, "I love you both, Abby, I don't want to choose." But I could hear the strain, the guilt, the pain, the choice she didn't want to make, the choice she'd already made, the choice that wasn't me. My dad was furious with Kate, his words harsh when he'd talk about her, his anger a fire that burned too hot, a fire that burned too bright, a fire that burned me too. "She's no daughter of mine," he'd say, his voice low, his eyes hard, his heart hard, his love hard, his loyalty hard. But Kate didn't care she had Jake, she had what she wanted, she had what I'd had, she had what I'd loved, she had what I'd lost, she had what I'd never have again, she had what I'd never be again. I tried to confront Kate, my sister, the girl I'd grown up with, the girl I'd shared a room with, the girl I'd shared secrets with, the girl I'd shared a life with, the girl who'd taken all I had, the girl who'd ruined me. I called her, my voice shaky, my words desperate, my need for answers a wound I couldn't close, a wound I couldn't heal, a wound I couldn't bear. "How could you do this to me, Kate?" I screamed into the phone, my tears falling, my voice cracking, hoping she'd feel my pain, hoping she'd feel my loss, hoping she'd feel my devastation, hoping she'd feel me. But she didn't care. "You were always so perfect, Abby," she said, her voice cold, her words sharp, her tone a slap in the face, a dagger to my heart, a nail in my coffin. "I was tired of living in your shadow, tired of you having it all, tired of you having him. Jake wanted me, he chose me. Get over it." She hung up, her words echoing in my head, her deception echoing in my heart, her theft echoing in my soul, her victory echoing in my defeat. I lost my job at the diner a week later, my grief too heavy, my tears too frequent, my mistakes too many, my pain too much, my burden too much. I'd show up late, my eyes red from crying, my hands shaky, my focus gone, my apron wrinkled, my hair a mess, my smile non-existent, my attitude a problem, my presence a liability. I'd drop plates, forget orders, snap at customers, my hands trembling as I'd try to clean up the mess, my mind elsewhere, my heart elsewhere, my life elsewhere, my dreams elsewhere. "I'm sorry, Abby, but you're not pulling your weight," my boss said, his voice firm, his eyes tired, his arms crossed as he stood in the back room, his decision made, his words a final blow to the life I'd had, the life I'd lost, the life I'd ruined. "We have to let you go." I left the diner that day, my apron in my hand, my tears falling, my future uncertain, my income gone, my stability gone, my purpose gone, my life a mess I couldn't fix. Without a job, I couldn't afford the house. I'd already been late on rent, and Jake wasn't there to help anymore, wasn't there to split the bills, wasn't there to pick up the slack, wasn't there to keep me afloat, wasn't there to keep me from drowning, wasn't there to keep me from falling, wasn't there to keep me from crumbling. The landlord gave me a week to move out, his voice harsh over the phone, his words final. "You're out, Abby. I can't keep waiting for you to pay. I can't keep dealing with this. I can't keep giving you chances." I spent that week packing what I could into a duffel bag, leaving behind the life I'd built with Jake, the memories we'd made, the dreams we'd shared, the couch we'd bought together, the dishes we'd picked out, the quilt on the bed, the life we'd lived, the love I thought we'd had, the future I thought we'd planned. I moved to Eugene, a city an hour away, into a roach-infested apartment with a broken heater and a mattress on the floor. The kind of place where the walls were stained, the air smelled like smoke, the neighbors fought all night. The kind of place I never thought I'd end up. The kind of place that felt like a prison, the kind of place that felt like the end. Meanwhile, Jake and Kate were doing better than ever, their lives a stark contrast to mine, their happiness a knife to my heart. I'd see their posts online. Jake had opened his auto shop, and Kate was working with him, cutting hair for his clients, their business booming, their love blooming, their life blooming, their dreams blooming. I found their Instagram accounts late at night, scrolling through their profiles at 2 a.m., my tears blurring the cracked screen of my phone as I clicked on their photos. They'd bought a cute house in town, the kind with a white picket fence and a swing on the porch, the kind of place we'd dreamed of living in together, the kind of place I'd never see, the kind of place I'd never deserve. I saw pictures of them at the county fair, his arm around her, her head on his shoulder, her smile brighter than anything I'd ever given him, brighter than anything I'd ever been, brighter than anything I'd ever be. The worst part? My parents started to accept them. My mom, who'd been so shocked at the dinner, started liking their posts, commenting with heart emojis, her betrayal a quiet ache, her betrayal a loud scream, her betrayal a weight I couldn't carry, a weight I couldn't bear, a weight I couldn't shatter. I called her, my voice trembling, my words a plea, my pain a plea, my loss a plea, my despair a plea. "How can you support them, Mom?" I cried, my tears falling, my heart crumbling, my voice cracking, my dreams crumbling. "After what they did to me, after what they took from me, after what they made me, after what they turned me into." She sighed, her voice soft, her words a betrayal, her words a loss, her words a void. "I just want my girls to be happy, Abby," she said, her tone a lie, her love a lie, her family a lie, her loyalty a lie. "Kate loves him and he loves her. You need to move on." Her words cut deeper than anything Jake had said, deeper than anything Kate had done, deeper than anything I'd felt, deeper than anything I'd ever known. I'd sit in my apartment, the cold seeping through the thin walls, the sound of the city a distant hum, the roaches skittering across the floor, the smell of smoke filling the air, the weight of my loneliness pressing down on me, the weight of my treachery crushing me, the weight of my failure shattering me. I'd scroll through Jake and Kate's posts, my tears smudging the cracked glass of my phone, my heart crumbling with every photo, every caption, every reminder of what I'd lost, what I'd been cheated out of, what I'd never have again, what I'd never deserve again, what I'd never be again. I'd look at myself in the cracked mirror, my eyes hollow, my hair a mess, my face pale, my skin dry, my lips chapped, my body tired, my spirit broken, my dreams gone, and barely recognize the girl staring back at me. A girl who used to laugh, who used to love, who used to have it all. A girl who'd been deceived. A girl who'd been replaced. A girl who'd lost it all. I've been in this roach-infested apartment for 2 months now, and every day feels worse than the last. Every day a reminder of what I've lost. Every day a reminder of what I've become. Every day a reminder of the treachery that shattered me. I'm sitting on the mattress on the floor, my back against the wall, my phone in my hand, staring at Kate's latest post, her and Jake at their new auto shop. A grand opening sign behind them, his arm around her. Her smile wide, their life perfect. Their life everything mine isn't. Their life everything I'll never have. Their life everything I'll never touch. Their life everything I'll never be a part of. Their life everything I'll never deserve. My stomach twists, my eyes burn, and I can't stop the tears from falling, can't stop the anger from rising, can't stop the pain from consuming me, can't stop the deception from defining me. I keep thinking about that night, the family dinner, the night Kate said they were in love, the night Jake said he chose her, the night they destroyed me. I can still hear her words, "We're in love," the way they sliced through me, the way they crushed me, the way they made me feel like a void, like I'd never be enough, like I'd never be her, like I'd never be Kate, like I'd never be anyone. I can still hear his words, "She makes me happy in ways you never did." The way they erased me, the way they diminished me, the way they made me feel like I'd been zero, like I'd been zero, like I'd been zero. I can still see the way they left together, their hands intertwined, their steps steady, their love a taunt, their love a theft, their love a deception, their love a fire, their love a flood, their love my void. And Kate, my sister, my own sister, the girl I grew up with, the girl I shared a life with, the girl I thought I knew, the girl I thought I loved. She knew what she was doing, knew she was stealing him, knew she was ruining me, and she didn't care, didn't stop, didn't think about me, didn't think about us, didn't think about the years we'd spent together, the memories we'd made, the family we'd had, the bond we'd had. She took him, took my life, took my love, took my dreams, and left me a hollow shell, left me to hurt, left me to crumble, left me to fall, left me to lose, left me to be this empty void. And my parents, my mom, who was supposed to protect me, who was supposed to love me, who was supposed to choose me. She accepted them, supported them, loved them while I was here, falling apart, breaking apart, losing it all, losing myself, losing me. She liked their stupid posts, smiled at their stupid pictures, cheered for their stupid love. While I was here, drowning in my pain, drowning in my loss, drowning in my emptiness. But instead of looking at myself, instead of seeing what I did wrong, I point the finger at them. At Jake, at Kate, at my mom, at everyone who let me down, who deceived me, who destroyed me. If Jake hadn't chosen her, I wouldn't be here. I mutter, my voice low, my eyes fixed on the stained wall, my hands clenched into fists, my nails digging into my palms, my tears falling onto the mattress, my heart racing, my mind spinning, my soul crumbling. He should have loved me, should have stayed with me, should have chosen me, not her, not Kate, not my sister, not anyone else. He should have seen all I did for him, all I gave him, all I was for him, all I am for him, all I'll never be for him. And Kate, she was supposed to be my sister, supposed to love me, supposed to protect me, not stab me in the back, not steal my boyfriend, not ruin my life, not leave me to drown in this mess, in this pain, in this void. And Mom, she was supposed to be on my side, supposed to support me, supposed to save me, not cheer for my deception, not cheer for my replacement, not cheer for my loss. They all deceived me, Jake, Kate, Mom, everyone. They're the reason I'm here, not me, not my actions, not my choices. I know I'm wrong, deep down, but I can't admit it, can't face it, can't let myself see the truth. That I might have been too much, that I might have smothered him, that I might have pushed him away, that I might have given him a reason to look for someone else, that I might have ruined my own life with my need to be perfect, my need to be enough. Instead, I decide to fight back, to make Jake and Kate feel the pain I'm feeling, to make them see what they've done to me, to make them pay for deceiving me. I open my phone, my hands shaking, my battery at 3%, my screen cracked, my fingers trembling, my heart racing, my mind buzzing, and start typing a message to a local gossip page in our small town, my words sharp, my tone desperate, my plan a last-ditch effort to ruin them. I have proof that Jake and Kate were sneaking around behind my back while we were still together. I write, my fingers flying across the screen, my anger pouring out, my pain pouring out, my hurt pouring out, my deception pouring out. They were cheating on me for months, my own sister and my boyfriend, my own family and my love, my own dreams and my despair. I have their messages, their photos, their secrets, their lies, their treachery, their theft, all that should have been mine, all I'll never have. I'm going to send them to you, and I want you to post them, to share them, to spread them, to make sure everyone in town knows what they did, to make sure everyone knows who they really are, to make sure everyone knows how they hurt me, how they shattered me, how they deceived me. They'll pay for this. They'll pay for what they did to me, they'll pay for what they took from me, they'll pay for what they made me, they'll pay for turning me into this void. I hit send, my heart racing, my mind buzzing with a mix of hope and rage. Thinking maybe this will work, maybe they'll hurt, maybe they'll feel what I feel, maybe they'll see what they've done, maybe they'll regret it, maybe they'll come back, maybe they'll apologize, maybe they'll fix it, maybe they'll fix me, maybe they'll make it right, maybe they'll make me something, maybe they'll make me again. But deep down, I know it won't change anything. No, I've lost them for good. No, I have no one to blame but myself. No one to hurt but myself. No one to shatter but myself. No one to be but this empty shell, this void I've become. I set my phone down, my tears falling onto the cracked screen, and stare at the wall, the roaches skittering across the floor, the sound of the city a distant hum, the cold seeping through the thin walls, the smell of smoke filling the air, the weight of my loneliness pressing down, the weight of my treachery crushing me, the weight of my failure shattering me, and wonder if I'll ever find a way out of this mess, wonder if I'll ever learn, wonder if I'll ever change. Or if I'm doomed to keep making the same mistakes. Over and over, until there's nothing left to lose, until there's nothing left to shatter, until there's nothing left to hurt, until there's nothing left to feel, until there's nothing left to be.